Hello, everybody. It is Friday again, and it is time for a Friday Live. Sorry I had to miss last week, but family is super important. So, um, yes. Anyway, I just wanted to say hello, and hopefully, everybody is going to join me today. But if not, and you are watching this on replay, that is absolutely fine too. Just go ahead and send me comments as well. I love your comments. So I am going to be using this beautiful washi tape. It's so pretty. Have all these florals. So pretty. And I'm going to show you how to do that in just a minute. But I'm also going to be using some other products. I'm kind of got a mashup thing going. So we're going to use the Glass and Gardens embossing folder. It is one of the narrower embossing folders, so it will fit in the mini. It is a set of two. We're going to be using one of them today. But there's this pretty floral and then this one that looks like cut glass. So we have both of those. So we're going to be using one of those today. And Fancy Borders. This is an online exclusive. It's been out, I think, since March. So this is a nice one. And I'm going to be using the Just Because from this, and then one of the border dies for this one. And then we have the Extraordinary Flora bundle. We have the stamp set and the dies, and that does coordinate with the washi tape here. And the die is one die. So when you put it all together, this die will cut all of these flowers out at the same time. So wonderful, wonderful stuff. But one of the best things that's going on right now is you can get the stamping, the starter kit, Stampin' Up! Starter Kit for $99, but this month only. That's like today and tomorrow. You don't have a lot of time. So if you sign up to be a demonstrator, you will get $165 worth of product for only $99. So in case you missed that, that's something that if you want to get a discount, I started out, I had a few friends, I didn't have money in my budget, so I started doing Stampin' Up! So that I could earn the money to support my hobby. And you can do that too. Or if you just order a lot and you just want a discount. Your discount starts at 20% and then it goes up from there based on how much your orders are and things like that. So basically getting $165 for only $99 is a fabulous, fabulous, fabulous deal. So don't miss out. It ends May 31st, which is tomorrow. And with that money, you can get the machine. You get the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine for that. Did you know that? You can get the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine for that. And right now, it's such a great deal because normally you get $125 for your 99, and this month you get $40 additional. So $165 for 99. Again, that ends tomorrow, May 31st, 2025. So let's go ahead and I'm going to briefly show you what we're going to make. We're going to use the note cards and envelopes, and we're going to make, I did it in two different colors because the washi tape has two different colors of flowers. It has um, these color tones, which are like the fresh freesia and the gorgeous grape, um, and then you have like the strawberry slush, and I think that's darling duckling. So you have two different colors on this one roll of washi tape. It alternates back and forth. This is great washi tape. It sticks to the paper once you push it down, but you can reposition it pretty easily and it doesn't tear the paper. So we're going to use note cards and envelopes, and let's bring those out. So we need a note card and an envelope. to start off with. So we're going to put that aside. Your note cards are scored in the middle. So your note cards are 5 inches by 7 inches. So then it's scored at the 3.5-inch mark. So then it makes a card that is 3.5 inches by 5 inches, which is your standard note card size. So, and it does come with envelopes. You get 20 in a package. So that's a fabulous deal. All right, let's go ahead and let me show you this. So first off, I cut a piece that was just a little bit wider than my roll of washi tape. So it is 3 3/4 inches, or if you're doing metric, it is about 8.5 centimeters. Then the length is 5.5 inches. So that would be like 14 centimeters. All right. So I took, your rolls of your glue dots. Basically, once you start using your glue dots, you got all this extra paper here. Well, save some of that, and then you can stick it on the end so that your washi tape roll, you can always find the end of your washi tape roll. First off, we are going to show you how to put that on the paper. And let's see, just making sure, yeah, I'm live. I don't know, I don't think anybody has joined me yet today, but that's perfectly fine. They will join me later on replay, and then they'll leave their comments, so please do make sure that you do leave those comments. So we're going to start out, and we're just going to get this on here. Whoops, get the dog hairs out of the way. Love the dogs, but for all of those you people that are pet owners, you know that sometimes they leave their little fur, little hairs behind, which is okay. We love them anyway. So you can just push out the bubbles as you're going along. And if you get a little crease, you can just lift it back up again and start again. So I find it's easier to just do it this way. Just kind of rub it on as you go along. Just keep going until you get that all on there the way you want it. I'm getting creases because I'm trying to go too fast. I think you could also use your bone folder as well if you wanted to. But we're just going to keep going, trying not to get any creases in there. Oh, it's going off. It's going off. Okay, let's start this again. See, it can come off. You have a little playroom with this, which I love that you have that. So we're going to start this again. We're going to try to get this a little bit better, a little bit more even on this. That's why I did do it slightly larger so that you can have a little play with it. All right, see if I can get this down. You can rub that out with your fingernail if you get little bubbles and things. Come on. Sorry, I had creases I didn't like in there. But you can rub those out as you go along. It really is easy. I hope I'm making it look that way because it's easy. It really is. And then when you get to the end, you're going to have to use your scissors. You're going to have to cut around that design. like that. So now I have a piece already like this, and then I'm going to put my glue dot, part of my glue dot paper, empty glue dot paper, and put on the end so that I can find the end again very easily. Alright, that's what it looks like. It's absolutely beautiful. You could go ahead at this point and bring in your die. Oh, if I can get this off. Sometimes that double-sided tape, yep, there it goes. Okay, you could at this point bring in your die and line it up. See how that just lines up perfectly with this? And then run it through your die cut machine, and then you have all these flowers and leaves cut out. However, I am doing a swap coming up with a group of people where I'm going to be on vacation soon. So next week it doesn't look like we will have probably a live the next couple weeks, but I will try to go live while I'm there with some other things, maybe not demonstrations, maybe demonstrations. You just never know. Um, so we have this piece here, and I designed my card so that I could cut it in half. So this is part of a piece like this. This is half of a piece like this. This one is half of this piece here. So you can cut it in half, and then I can use it in my design. Alright, here we go. I have my piece, I've cut it in half. So half of 3 3/8 is a very funky number. It is, well, it looks like this one came out to 1 5/8, but I think sometimes it comes out a little differently. Let me see. Is this one 1 5/8 too? No, this one's a little different. Okay. So basically, of course, these are the two different colors here. They do sort of line up. Anyway, so this is, oh, this one's just shy of 3 3/8. Anyway, you figure out where half is. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. So you just cut that in half, and then it is still the 5.5 inches. So we'll have to trim that down because our card is only 5 inches wide. Alright, so we have that piece. And then we need two pieces of basic white. Two pieces of basic white. And I'll tell you what the measurements on those are. They are 1 1/4 by 5. So 1 1/4 by 5. Both of those are 1 1/4 by 5. So we have these two pieces that are 1 1/4 by 5. Let's go ahead. Where do I want to put those? These two have to be die cut. So now we have to bring in, I'll move this, remove that, and we're going to bring in our die cutting machine again. This is the big guy. And we need our sandwich, which is 2 number 3 plates. And yes, that's my original really ugly one, but it still works. And we need the number 1 and the number 2. Again, somebody accidentally cut that in one of my classes, but that's okay, it still works. So there we have our sandwich. We have the number 1, which shows you on here. The number 1, number 1, the number 2, and 2 number 3s. That's for die cutting. And where's my die cuts? My die cuts are from the Fancy Borders dies. And I have one here that already has washi tape on it. So these are really fun, the Fancy Borders, and we're going to use this kind of scallopy one here. We have our fancy borders, and we have our paper. And I just lost my plates under my table, but here they are. Okay, so let's move this for a second so we can get our sandwich set up here. Whoops. And this one, this is one of our number 2s, or number 3s. This is one of our number 3s. I'll turn it this way so you can see it. One of our number 3s. I flip my plates back and forth so you have more even wear so they last longer. Now, this one needs to go on here. We're going to try to line up our scallops so they're pretty even here. And we want it right at the edge. And then we're going to put our washi tape down. And I like to do it at an angle because if you do it straight on this way, then you'll start to get a bend in your die. So I find if I turn it at a diagonal, it works a little better. And here's my other number 3. And I'm going to put this through the machine. Oh, hi, Jackie and Teresa. I'm so glad you joined. You can, if you missed any parts of it, you can always go back and watch the beginning, but you probably hit the high when I really truly started. So there's one of them. Now we need the other one. Okay, let's line this one up too. Kind of put my washi tape where I know the beginning of it has to be. So this is like right on the edge here. So I need one more, and I'm going to turn it so it's a little more diagonal. And we're going to crank this one through as well. Alright, I'm going to take this down for a second. Get this one out. Throw the scrap away. Alright, there we go. There we have those two. I'm going to put my die back so that I don't lose it. And we're going to emboss these two pieces. So the embossing folder is not a 3D, it's a regular embossing folder. And these Glass and Garden ones do come. They will work in the mini because they're narrow. And you get a floral one and a cut glass one. So we're going to use the cut glass one today. And because it is not a 3D, we need a different sandwich. We need the number 1 base plate and 2 number 3s. We do not need the number 2. We need both of these. And we're going to put these in our folder. Always make sure that your folded side goes into the machine. So I'm going to line this up. I want a specific pattern on here. So I'm lining this up. Kind of at the bottom there. And I'm going to put just a little thing of washi there, I think. Just to hold it in place. So there we have that one. And then this one is going to go up top here. Slightly different pattern. But there, I can fold that over. Oops, that's not going to work because the washi tape is too tall. Okay. Maybe put it this way. So yeah, the washi tape was too tall. It was going to mess up with the pattern on our other one. We don't want that. So trying to get it where I can run them through both at the same time. Okay. All right. Close this up. There we go. So that is our sandwich. And we got to bring our machine back. We're still using the big guy because that's what's handy at the moment. And we're going to run this through. So now we have both of our patterns here. Carefully pull that washi tape off so we don't tear our paper, but it would be on the back side, so it wouldn't be too terrible. Alright, so there we have our washi tape. We have our top and our bottom. And we need to do the envelope and an inside piece, which I did not bring, so I will just show you that later. Alright, I also want to emboss the flap of my envelope. So to do that, I'm going to just put my envelope, bring this in, kind of line it up so it's kind of centered. Here, put it right as close to the edge as I can possibly get it. Close that up. Now because this is such an ugly plate, I don't want to get that pattern on my envelope. So I'm going to put this is just copy paper. This is just regular old copy paper here. I'm putting that down. And then this. And we're going to run that through the machine. Hi, LaDonna, thanks for joining. Alright. So we're embossing the flap of our envelope. And see how there's a little bit of a bow there? So now I'll flip it over the other way. And that's why you flip your plates back and forth like that. Alright, okay. Well, did that help? I don't know, that didn't help too much. I kind of got a little faint pattern on there, but once you send it through the mail, it'll be fine. Yeah. I could have flipped my place. Maybe I should have put this one on the bottom. Anyway, it's still pretty. It's going to be gorgeous. And we have our embossed flap. So, anyway, there we go. That's all of our embossing that we need. Now what do we need? We need a card base. So here we have our card with our card base. So this, we're going to attach this to the front. We're just going to kind of eyeball this. And then once we get it down, we'll trim off the edges. So we're just going to kind of eyeball. We're going to kind of put it in the center. So what is going to be good for that is, and that's like some glue residue. It'll be fine because we're going to cover that up. We're going to bring in, oops, whoo, this is coming out good. Smooth that out. That's our multi-purpose liquid glue or green glue. Like I said, we're just eyeballing this, paying attention to where our pattern is starting and ending here. Just want that sort of in the middle. Alright, there we go. And we're going to trim that off. Just using our scissors, just lay your blade right along the edge of the card here. And just trim that right off. There you go. Those pieces we don't need anymore. Now we're going to use dimensionals for these. So we're going to flip them on the back side. And we're going to grab some dimensionals. Let's see if we put those in the center. Would those be good enough? Little, yeah, I'm going to move those because I was getting some saggy middles. I don't like saggy middles. So we're just going to add, okay, a little bit of an edge piece right here. There we go. Lots and lots of dimensionals, but then we don't have saggy parts. Just getting this completely covered. Dimensionals are cheap, so I don't worry about it. Alright, no saggy parts now. Alright, now we just need, my take your pick tool would work faster. Oops, came off. I don't know how you take your dimensional papers off. This is how I found. Works really well. Okay, this is the bottom one. So this one lines up right on the edge, right on the bottom, right on the corner, just right there. And you're going to go all the way across, lining it up on the bottom, all the way to the other corner. And we have that. And we're going to do the same thing on the top. So it's always kind of fun to add a little extra dimension. So it looks kind of like this layer of washi tape, which is the Extraordinary Flora washi tape. Kind of makes it look inlaid. So this is a clean and simple style card. It has a lot of white with just a little color. There we have our top and bottom, all nice and pretty. And now we need to bring in a sentiment. So I have my Just Because from my, let's see, what stamp set is this? Fancy Borders. My Just Because here from my Fancy Borders stamp set, which is an online exclusive. And I have really skinny pieces here. I have extras in case I mess up. But I spilled some stuff, so I'm picking that up. You can't see it. But I spilled my package with all this stuff in it, so I was just picking it up. And Just Because and Coastal Cabana. So this piece is the tiny piece, very, very narrow. This piece is 3/8 of an inch, which is very, very close to 1 centimeter. And then it is 1 3/4 inches, or how many centimeters would that be? That would be about approximately 4.5 centimeters. Then this piece is a little bit wider. So instead of 3/8, this one is 1/2 inch wide. And instead of 1 3/4, this is 1 7/8. So metric, that would be like 1.3 centimeters by 4.8. So have our pieces and our layering piece and our Costa Cabana ink, and yes, I'm still using the really, really old style pad. This is the newer style pad. This is the old style pad. They both have the firm foam, so that part is the same. And we have our just because. So we're going to ink that up. We're just very, very lightly touching, just so we get some ink coverage just on the letters and not on the block or anywhere else. We're just tap, tap, tapping. Just tap, tap, tap a few times to make sure you get even coverage, but don't push into that pad. You're going to be tempted, but don't do it. And we're going to just line this up, and we're going to stamp. Just hold it in place for just a little bit. And here we have our just because. That's a little lower than I would like it. Let's flip it over. Get the edge. If you have a little tiny edge on that and you flip it over, just run your fingernail on it. Even if you have really short ones like me. Let's try that one more time. That's why paper has two sides. I'm going to try this again. Let it go for just a minute. Well, that was low too. I think it's because I'm on camera. Oh, no, that one's better. That was the other side. That one's better. I like that one better. Let's go with that one. And my Costa Cabana piece, my layering piece. Yes, the washi tape, you don't have to use the dies. You can use the dies with it, but it is not necessary. So I thought I would show you how to use the washi tape without the dies. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Just smear that glue because it is coming out of the bottle good. And I think I might need some tweezers. Let's see, these are the Stampin' Up! Ones. I can just use those. Let's go ahead, line this up with just a tiny little skinny border all the way around. Just you can kind of wiggle it for a little bit until the glue sets. All right, now we need dimensionals. I'm just going to grab some small dimensionals. These are the minis. I'm going to grab 3 of those. And I have a piece of that gold striped sheer ribbon. Didn't bring the roll in. I'm not exactly sure what it's called, but it's like gold striped sheer, something like that. You put a search in the website for gold striped, and I'm sure that will come up. But just maybe even gold, and you'll get a whole bunch of gold things that'll come up. All right, let's take these papers off. And this is like a 3-inch piece of ribbon. I'm just going to lay it on there. These are the tweezers that come in the embossing kit, by the way. Comes with the tray and the brush. for doing embossing. And I'm going to bring in my ribbon only scissors. I'm going to do just a little trim here. And when I'm going the same way, this going that way, so I still want to go the same direction. That's why I flipped it upside down. So this is a no tie ribbon here. Just a little ribbon, give it a little extra oomph. And because this is already on the dimensionals, we do need glue dots here. Bring out some mini glue dots and get a couple of those on here, one on each end, so that it will stick to our project. This is going to go right in here. Just a little, just because. Then I want another little touch of gold. So we have our iridescent foil gems, and they have a little touch of gold in them. So I want a couple of the large ones. Get my putty fixed here. Come on. One, like right in here. And I want another large one up here, kind of right here. And then I want a small one. So I had a whole bunch of large ones left over from a project I did. So now we're getting the small one, and that one is going to go right up here. There we have our project. So we have our note card with the washi tape inlay and the embossing on the top and the bottom with the fancy border cut, and then the embossed flap on our envelope. Now, to make it fancy on the inside, because you know I like to bring a little outside to the inside, I also, for the inside, I cut a piece that was about, how wide? Would have been about 1 inch wide by 3.5. And when I put it in here, I did have to do a little trimming. But as you can see, I did run that. I scalloped the edge, and then I ran that through the embossing folder to mimic the top piece here. So there we have it. We have our project with the fancy flap, and the washi tape does come in the 2 different colors. So we have the one with the Costa Cabana and the one with the strawberry slush. So that's really fun. And I wanted to show you, before I sign off, I wanted to show you something really fun with the stamp. It comes in the Extraordinary Flora. So we have a piece of the basic white, which is just a little bit wider than our washi tape. And so we have 3 3/8 inches by 5.5 inches. Well, I'm so glad you guys are liking this. Oh, and then we have our stamp, which I forgot to bring the block in for it, but okay, so we're just going to pretend. So this stamp will fit on here. You would have your large, the very largest, I think it's an F block, and you would stamp that in early espresso. And then, when you're done, you can put the washi tape over the early espresso stamped. So it'll be stamped in this pattern, and then the washi tape goes over it and matches perfectly. Look at that. Look how good that matches. So you want to stamp first in a darker color on your piece, and then you can put your washi tape over what you've stamped, and line it up, and look how pretty that is. You can also put it on window sheet. I'm going to show you what that looks like. You can also put it on window sheet, which is clear. Your window sheet is clear. So then you can put your washi tape on your window sheet, and it gives you kind of, instead of a white background, it makes it look like it's kind of on vellum. So you can see the two, see it differently. Or we'll do the same color here. So you can see the white versus on the window sheet. So this gives you, if you put it in the window sheet, it gives you the look of kind of like vellum, like these were printed on vellum. But if you put it on the white, then that's a really pretty look too. So here we have those. And again, let me bring these back out again. You can see these again, and you can tell me which color you like. But again, you get both colors on the roll. So you can make some of each color, and then you will have some very, very, very pretty kind of inlaid washi tape look, clean and simple note cards. Bye.